Hello, big beautiful world called planet Earth. I wanted to discuss this because I find it very fascinating how everyone thinks that perfection is everything, and it's not. No one is perfect. Not one single person on this planet is perfect in any way, shape, or form. There are problems. There's things that's wrong with each and every single one of us. I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint. I'm not any of those things, and I don't want to be. I don't claim to be, because perfection is just that's just not the. It's just not who we are. We all have, and I'm not trying to be derogatory or discriminative against anyone. I'm just saying, personally, I'm not perfect. Not anyone on this planet who says they're perfect is lying through their teeth. Because no one is perfect. No one has that life that we all want to live. Sure, there are things in our lives that may seem that way, but they aren't. Not every single thing that we do in our lives, whether it's go to a job and work 9 to 5, whether it's being a YouTuber, whether it's being a model, whether it's being an actor or an actress, those individuals all have issues. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean or to be rude or anything like that. We all have our problems in our lives. And just because you only see a portion of our lives, whether it's on social media, whether it's via YouTube, whether it's like 10, 15 minutes hanging out with someone, or hanging out with someone for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, that is not the whole story. That is not the whole truth. That's only a portion of what life has in store for us. That's only a minuscule amount of information that you can gather from that time period. It's when you know someone for 15 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, for 40 years, for 50 years. That's when you actually know the person and actually know what they're about and who they are. It doesn't just happen in one hour or 2 hours or a night or a week or a month. It takes a long period of time to figure out every single, issue or problem or thing about them that you don't know in that little time frame, whether it's going out to a bar or it's going out to a restaurant for dinner or lunch or going to an activity of some sort. You have to figure these things out over a period of time. That no one in this world is perfect. No one. Not one single person, not one single anything. No one on this planet is perfect. And if they claim they are, they're wrong. Because that word gets thrown around too much, that we think that we're perfect when we're not. Every single person on this planet that's ever existed or ever will exist in the future is not going to be perfect. That word, even though it's used in the dictionary and everyone claims they are not. We all have mental health issues. We all have, some sort of a heart issue, or, it doesn't have to just be your heart or your brain or everything. Everything that we do in our lives, whether it's talking to someone for only an hour or 2 hours or however long, we don't know their full story. They could be depressed, they could be sad, they could have anxiety, or are nervous or embarrassed or things of the nature. And I'm no different than those individuals that are like that. Now, I'm not saying I've ever, I've been anxious, but I haven't had the level of anxiety that most individuals have had. I've been depressed before. I've been sad before. But there are people who have it way worse than me, and then there's people that have it the exact same amount as me. Not every single person is willing to admit their flaws, their because everyone wants to make out like the bandit or make out like a bad person that gets made fun of or gets bullied online or in person. No one wants to deal with that. No one wants to get made fun of. No one wants to talk about their feelings or things of that nature. And it should be okay to talk about their feelings. And it should be okay to talk about their depression or their anxiety or some sort of illness or things of that nature, mental issue, mental illness, or have problems with themselves. Everyone should be able to admit that, and we're living in a world where no one wants to admit it, and we should be able to talk about it and fully understand where every single person's coming from. I think, me personally, I'm imperfect, and I'm okay with being imperfect. Everyone should be okay with being imperfect, because every person is different, and every person has their own problems and issues that they're dealing with, whether it's their breakup, whether it's the loss of a friend. And by loss of a friend, I mean you grow apart as individuals, or maybe you lost someone that you really cared about, like they passed away. And it doesn't have to be just friends. It could be a family member. It could be anything. We all have our own problems and issues that you shouldn't be afraid to admit, is all I'm trying to say. No one on this planet is perfect, and there should be nothing wrong with being imperfect. There should be nothing wrong with any of that stuff. Now, there's a line that needs to be drawn on that imperfectness, because there could be something so wrong with someone they can't come back from it. But there are certain scenarios where someone who is a little bit depressed or has a little bit of anxiety, they can admit their feelings and be okay with, and learning and listening and all that stuff. When you're too far gone, that's when it becomes a problem. When you don't have that support system behind you, that's when it can get bad, or that's when it could turn terrible and lead to death, which we shouldn't have to. When those people are so far gone, there's no coming back. I don't know what to say to those individuals, because nothing I say or nothing anyone says could change their mindset or their issues or anything like that. It's all about communication, and it's all about listening. It's about being there for someone, no matter how small the problem is, no matter how medium the problem is. Everyone should be there for everyone. If it's too bad, if it's terrible, I don't think anyone can come back from that. But this is just my opinion. You may not like my opinion. You may think this be controversial. I'm just explaining to you that no one's perfect. Everyone has imperfections. Everyone has problems. Everyone has issues. Everyone needs to listen. Unless you're too far gone. Then that's a whole other story that we won't talk about in this vlog. But I'm just saying, look, everyone has a little bit of anxiety. Everyone has a lot of nerves, or is very nervous, or embarrassed, or humiliated, or whatever that may be, or has anxiety. And then there's individuals who have way more anxiety or way more nervousness, or way more things of that nature. And we just all need to come together and listen and talk and be a friend, be a family member, whatever it is. Just be there for someone who's dealing with a lot of trauma or dealing with a lot of anxiety or depression. Just listen, because that's what they want. That's what they want you to do, is to listen and to understand where they're coming from in their anxiety and their depression and their sadness and their nervousness, and all of that stuff plays a factor. It's just listening to what they say and being there for them and being a great person. Because I'm not perfect. The ones that watch these vlogs aren't perfect. No one is perfect. That's just facts. No one is perfect. No one has this definition of perfection that works for them because everyone is imperfect. And that's the honest to God truth. So with that being said, we've got one birthday to wish today, and on one birthday only, and that's, I want to wish Sophie Vavasser. I think that's how you pronounce her last name, but I will spell it out. It's Vassesseur. So happy birthday to her. We got a couple birthdays tomorrow, and today is the final day of the matchmaking, the creator mentorship matchmaking part of things. It closes at 5 p.m. tonight. I did everything I wanted to do in regards to those two things for VidCon, so that's closing tonight at 5 p.m. and then next week a week from today I find out who I'm going to be meeting and greeting, or maybe not, or the creator mentorship program or whatever it is, but we'll just have to wait and see. And stay happy. I shouldn't say stay happy. Just stay content with who you are. No matter your imperfections, no matter your anxiety, no matter your depression, just stay who you are. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important. I should change that. Just be who you are. Whatever imperfections you have, and find your love story. I think that's going to be my new outro. I'm not going to say stay happy or stay upbeat because not everyone's going to be happy and not everyone's going to be upbeat. So, anyways, I will see you tomorrow with a brand new vlog, and bye-bye.